Hi everyone! I pulled an oracle card to see what we should read about today, and I pulled Legacy of Light. You are being asked to honor the legacy of light that is your sacred birthright. Take nourishment and support from those who have come before you, your ancestral lines, not only in blood but also in spirit. Perhaps these are the beings that have inspired and motivated you to live as a sacred rebel, from your heart and with belief in yourself. The more you are nourished by this legacy of light from your past, the more you become a bearer of the legacy for those that will be supported by your light in the future. This is a sacred endowment from the great universal source of light to humanity. It is the light of wisdom, creativity, radical courage, love, and respect that is passed down from the heart of each generation to the next. The legacy of light is your spiritual birthright to refine and shine your essence into the world. To be like a sun, radiant and unapologetic of your nature. The oracle of legacy of light comes to you when you need confirmation that a creative choice you are making, or have made, or soon will make, is one that is in alignment with your sacred purpose and spiritual path of healing and growth. The legacy of light cannot be ignored without some detriment to your sense of well-being. The issue at hand is one of utmost importance to your spiritual growth, even if it seemed insignificant. The energy around this matter is relevant to your sacred birthright to shine. Perhaps you need to trust more, to know that all is well, no matter what appears to be, and to ask for help and believe that you deserve to receive it. The legacy of light also asks you to call on the unconditionally loving support that exists for you every day. This light will offer you all manner of assistance. To not call upon it is like starving because you believe you have no means to acquire food, whilst a feast lays before your eyes, if only you would partake of it. If you worry that you are asking too much, that's a mistaken belief. Those beings of unconditional love who assist us spiritually each day need to shine just as we do. When they are embraced for their purpose, to assist with the spiritual growth of humanity through unconditional love, they too become a part of the legacy of light, shining bright with love and helping to illuminate the world. This oracle affirms you are coming from love, with the pure intention to simply live your life and do your best in the circumstances in which you find yourself. You are being asked to avail yourself of the help that is awaiting your request, so that your own light can become part of the greater, shining legacy of divine brilliance made manifest upon the earth. This oracle is also guiding you to something in your family history or spiritual ancestry that is relevant to you now. That can be recognized through traditions and cultures that you're interested in or intrigued by. They may or may not be those that you were raised with. It's possible that your family history or spiritual tradition is constructive, but it may also be holding you back. Some fears of our parents or our religious upbringing might be holding us back in the belief that dreams cannot manifest, or that we have to compromise to the point of losing what makes us feel truly alive. There's healing that can happen in that event. If you're involved in a group project, this oracle is asking you to stay true to the heart of why you began working together in the first place, and to seek assistance, protection, and guidance from a source that loves all of you unconditionally. If you need a jolt to recognize that you are a creative being, entitled to explore your ingenuity, perhaps through taking a class or pursuing your own artistic interests at home, then this oracle brings the guidance that yes, this is a part of your life path, and you are encouraged to take it further. You are also acknowledged through this oracle as having some special creative and healing offering to make to the world in this lifetime. You will leave a legacy of light for the greater good upon this planet, and you will be lovingly supported in many ways by the great creative universal intelligence when you ask for help. And so the theme that I've been able to extract from that description is, are you making the right choice? So I'm going to pull 3 astrology cards and then 3 crystal cards. And we'll do 3 piles. We'll put our legacy of light over to the side because it will guide all of our piles today. So we'll just pull our 3 piles now. What does the collective need to know about whether they're making the right choice? We've got the Sun card, the source. Whoa. We've got the quincunx, square, semi-square quincunx with tension. It's 2 birds battling it out in the air. That 3rd card is proving elusive. Oh, I think that's it. And we've got Chiron with heal. So we'll take those as our 3 piles. I mentioned in the last video that I would love to come up with a better word than pile. It feels very unromantic to me, the notion of a pile. So if you have a more creative word, please feel free to drop it in the comments. And perhaps we can all adopt it going forward. Hi, kitty cat. Oh, 3 cards just popped out. I think there were 3 from the reading last night, so I'm going to put those back because they're all ones that we... Oops, there's one. Oops. Those 2 look quite aligned, but we'll see what the description is. We need our 3rd pile card, our 3rd pile crystal. Okay. All right, so with the Sun card, we've got, so the Sun is the source. Let's look up the description for that. The Sun symbolizes the core of your personality, your life force, ego, and consciousness, how you express your basic vital energy, and the Sun's light shines through the teacher, actor, lover, leader, those who use their enthusiasm, warmth, and charisma for a common good. It's time for you to take center stage. Let the Sun's light flow through you and shine, illuminate, and energize your surroundings, and use this to be of service. With the shadow element of, well, we can talk about the shadows when we get to the piles. Okay, and then the crystal for pile 1 is Lemurian quartz. Who needs it? Anyone in need of a vacation from their thoughts? Use it whenever someone or something you love needs a zap of healing energy. Awaken your inner wizard or witch and cast a spell with Lemurian quartz and escape your mind. That's pile 1. Pile 2, we've got the square or semi-square or quincunx. With tension. These 3 aspects are awkward, potentially confrontational, and urge us to grow as we reconcile disparate points of view. Square aspects act as if 2 horses are pulling at right angles or 2 cars are colliding at a crossroads. Needs collide, and tension pulls between different priorities within and without. Action. Life is a workout. This phase needs juggling, muscle building, and the careful coordination of competing needs. You may feel pulled between one path or another and pushed to make a decision, but with some fancy timing and rhythm, you may be able to do it all. So if you're feeling pulled in 2 different directions, or if you feel like there's some awkward energies around your decision, then that might be the pile for you today. Who needs it? The material. This is azurite. And who needs it? The materialistic, vain, and always craving. That's not a judgment. That's almost all of us, Leos especially. When to use it? When material pleasures aren't giving you the buzz they used to. When it's time to take a break from snapping selfies and chasing shiny things. You can shake off shallowness. Start with your breath and then dive into the deep end with azurite and explore your hidden depths. So that's for pile 2. And then pile 3, we've got Chiron and Heal. Chiron is known as the wounded healer. Named after a mythological wise centaur who trained heroes and was accidentally wounded by Hercules with a poison arrow. He could not completely heal his own pain, but he learned so much about medicine that he started a healing temple. This asteroid points to where your own painful experiences give you training and how you can use that understanding to help others. Find purpose in your problems. Hard-earned wisdom is now relevant and needed. You don't have to assign causality. You may never know why you went through a difficult time, but you can put what you learned from it to good use. You have the wisdom to pass on once you metabolize the information. And then accompanying Chiron, we've got Ruby. Who needs it? Anyone with something worth fighting for, any Aries. When to use it? When you want to show the world you're both beautiful and ferocious. When your sex life needs a heaping tablespoon of spice. When the doldrums have you down, reach for Ruby and have some really red lipstick and come out swinging. Feed your fires. So we've got Chiron with healing and Ruby with a jolt of passionate energy. And so please take your time to feel into the 3 piles and choose your pile, and we'll see you over there. Hi, pile 1. So we've got the Sun card with Source, and then the Lemurian Quartz. So again, who needs it? Anyone in need of a vacation from their thoughts. When to use it? Whenever someone or something you love needs a zap of healing energy, awaken your inner wizard or witch and cast a spell with Lemurian Quartz and escape your mind. So with the Sun, we've got some emphasis on life purpose. So are you making the right decision? Perhaps you're too much in your mind. You might resonate with being too much in your mind about making this decision. Perhaps it's time to get a little bit more into your intuition and or act from your inner wizard or witch. And or perhaps, maybe it is time to do some spell casting. You'll know if that's for you. So let the sun's light flow through you and shine, illuminate, and energize your surroundings, and use this to be of service. Notice what feeds your vitality and work with it. As you let the sun flow through you, your health will improve. You will draw support to your energy and enthusiasm. Step into your potential. If you're asking about a project, notice how the vitality flows through the design and clear the path. Let this situation be a channel for the sun's energy and feel it take on a life of its own. So let vitality flow through and clear the path. So these two have a similar energy in that you're being asked to give that decision over to a natural flow. So see if you can get out of your own self's way. The challenge for the Sun card is narcissism, the shadow of the sun's energy, the false belief that I am the center of the universe and you are not. Learn to earn attention and respect rather than demand or expect it. Sorry, attention and respect rather than demand or expect it. And the gift is the sunlit moment is an opportunity to let your ego step out of the way. Let the sun's light flow through you and let spirit do the work. Shine wholeheartedly and share the warmth with friends, family, your community, and the world. Make it an offering. Live the truth. I am the center of the universe, and so are you. So that is both the shadow and the gift of the sun. Okay, let's get into it. So we're going to pull some cards, some tarot cards. And so the question is pile 1 making the right decision? Is pile 1 making the right choice? What does pile 1 need to know about this choice? I could not make this up. We have pulled the Sun card as our first card. I will note as always that I am not entertaining reversals right now. Got some more fiery energy here with the Knight of Wands, and I've got the Hanged Man. I'll pull one more card and then we'll get some clarifier cards after that. Is Pile 1 making the right choice? Pile 1 tune into their guides. Let me tune into the guides for Pile 1. Is Pile 1 making the right choice? Okay, well, we've got... So the Sun is, we've already sort of gone over what the Sun is in astrology, and it's similar in tarot. So the Sun card in tarot is about receiving what you're, what you most are desiring, essentially. So if you're, it can be a card of, egoic fulfillment, where you shine. So anywhere that you are, your radiance, your material success, abundance. It's an excellent card to pull if you're wanting to know if you're on the right path. This would be an indication that you most certainly are. It's possible that, especially, having pulled both of these Sun cards, it's possible from two different decks, it's possible that you are radiating the Sun's energy and that people are drawn to you because of your positivity. Or if you've been going through a difficult time, this is, definitely there's an indication here that that you're heading into a period of abundance and prosperity, that things are going to get better, and that you'll have a place to shine. The Sun card is about tapping into your inner power, so what makes you shine in particular. It suggests that you'll be able to bring those gifts out into the world quite effectively. We've got the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands charges ahead. He is passionate, fiery energy. It's the suit of passion, fire, drive, determination, and so the Knight is the active principle within that suit, and so the Knight is always in pursuit of the next passion. He will defend your passion projects and ensure that they have legs, essentially. So it looks like you've got some extremely good energy about whether to pursue whatever it is you're contemplating. Over here we've got the Hangman, which is a card of divine timing. So the Hangman can suggest that a pause might be necessary. There might be just a little bit more meditation to do. It sort of looks like, you're out of the gate and off and running, but it might be wise to just take a breath and slow down, have a pause, and contemplate what the next steps are before you charge ahead further. And so the Hangman, he's got a halo around him suggesting that he's in a deep meditation, and he's got his legs in the figure of a 4. So there's just a little bit of a message to slow down and pause and meditate on those next steps, just to ensure that you're on the right path with, you're obviously on the right path as a general, just a general indication that you're, very strongly pursuing your legacy of light. There's a lot of light happening here, even this one. And, but, as to what steps you should take next, you might want to slow down and contemplate a little bit. The Two of Pentacles is about making a choice. So it might be that you've reached a point after considering where you feel that there's a particular choice that has to be made, and it has to be made one way or the other. And, you may feel like you're sort of juggling things up to the point where you make that choice. So it's possible that, maybe you're at that juncture now, and that's why you've come upon this video. But let's get some clarifiers. So clarifying the Sun, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. clarifier for the Knight of Wands, please. Clarifier for the Hanged Man. And a clarifier for the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so clarifying the Sun card, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is she's sort of the pinnacle of material abundance and prosperity, fecundity, fecundity in the sense of having enough from the material world to support one's purposes. And so it seems like you are so well set up to pursue this legacy of light that you're contemplating. You've got what you need. You're well resourced, and you know, she's sort of looking down and a little bit into the past, contemplating her resources. But that is the jumping off point from which you can charge forward with your plans. However, it might be that if there's others involved, that there is, you know, the shadow side of the sun is, of course, the possibility of being too much in the ego. And so here it looks like there might be some kind of disagreement, or, you know, a difference of opinion in how to proceed with the, you know, whatever is your project that you've got on the go here, that you're, you know, ready to blaze ahead with. It's possible that you're perhaps blazing too much ahead on your own, and, you know, you've taken the swords from the others who could have assisted along the way. And although this person, you know, is quite pleased to be the one who's holding all the swords, you know, this person's crying in the background, this one's walking away. And so, you know, the aftermath of this is that this person will be left alone and will have, you know, lots of swords, but no people to wield them, no people to assist or collaborate with. And so maybe that's the energy that is bringing out the necessity of a pause in next steps. And so then we've got the Temperance card suggesting that, you know, whatever ego conflicts are going on, temperance is the way through them. So we've got the Temperance angel with one foot on the land and one foot in the water. So this angel's balancing the elements of earth and water. So there's, you know, although well resourced, there's also a connection to the emotional, intuitive realms, suggesting that the key is not to just act from a place of, you know, blazing fieriness, but to contemplate how to balance out those elements. So how to balance out the resources with, you know, caring for emotional needs, or caring for the others involved in the project, or who might be affected by the decision. So there is a need to sort of slow down and take the realm of the cups suit into account. So anything you associate with a suit of cups might be what you want to be balancing out with, you know, this well-resourced passion project, and just ensure that you're taking the middle road with respect to any conflicts with others along the way, so that the project can continue to breathe and grow. And so then we have the Two of Pentacles with, you know, there's some kind of choice that needs to be made, there's some kind of balancing, and perhaps the way through that choice, or into that choice, is to go more fully into the water and simply be guided by your intuition. So the Fool is beginning energy, and you know, the Fool is about to walk off a cliff and is named the Fool, but conversely the Fool is simply following their feet. And, you know, it's possible that, like, we don't know what's down below. It's possible they'll just, you know, land on a ledge slightly below and continue on their way. You know, of course, be cautious about the decisions you're making and make sure you've mapped out, you know, where they're going next. But there's definitely a call, I would say, with the Fool coming after the Two of Pentacles, to be in your intuition and to be guided by your inner light in terms of making this decision. And, as long as you're doing it in a way that takes the needs and feelings of everyone involved into account, then, it's likely that you'll be guided into your journey and you'll be able to shine. So just a note of caution of, not going off on your own, but heeding the others who might be trying to warn you from, leaping off a cliff. And yeah, so a little bit more collaboration, I would say, is being called for by the cards. Slow down, pause, take into account whatever else is going on in the background that you might not have seen initially in that initial burst of enthusiasm, and then just ensure that you're balancing that into your decision making, and you'll be in a better place to be guided by intuition as long as you're allowing all of the input before you do so. So I hope that was helpful, Pile 1, and good luck with your legacy of light. Bye! Hi, Pile 2. So we've got the tension aspect of the square, semi-square, or quincunx. It's interesting that those have all been lumped together in this card because I myself would have teased out the differences between them. So square energy is a productive energy. So squares, again, things are at a right angle in the chart. It's the 90-degree energy of one thing sort of being pitted against another and being in tension. But that tension is actually necessary in astrology. If you have too much of the harmonious, smooth flowing trine aspects, trines and sextiles are a little more active than trines, but trines can be complacent. They're harmonious and easy, but they're sort of, they don't motivate you to get up off the couch and make a difference in the world. Whereas squares, by putting a couple of different elements in tension, literally, they will prompt, now I'm doubting myself, okay, cut that part out. Whereas squares will put a couple of different elements in tension with each other that will need to be resolved. And so by working through that resolution, you will move things forward. And so you need a little bit of that square energy in a chart in order for something to evolve. And so, if it's already flowing harmoniously, there is no forward push. It's the square that will bring that forward push, or oppositions as well. So I would have put squares and oppositions together myself, but in any event, then we've got semi-squares, which is sort of a lesser square. But the quincunx is a pretty unique energy, and it is definitely one of, I suppose they all have tension in common, but the quincunx is sort of an unresolvable tension. It's like a point of annoyance in the chart, or a point of non-resolution, where two things are held in tension with each other. They want to sort of resolve in one direction or the other, but they're just sort of held in tension, and can be a source of just sort of a moment of disquiet and an aspect of disquiet within the chart. And so it is, of course, possible to work with quincunx energies, same as squares, but quincunxes, the resolution of them is not necessarily productive in the same way. It might reduce one's own internal annoyance, I want to say, but it doesn't necessarily move things forward in a material sense in the same way as a square. In any event, that's where we're starting here, and let's look to the book. These three aspects are awkward, potentially confrontational, and urge us to grow as we reconcile disparate points of view. Action. Life is a workout. This phase needs juggling, muscle building, and the careful coordination of competing needs. You may feel pulled between one path or another and pushed to make a decision, but with some fancy timing and rhythm, you may be able to do it all. Working with people who have diverse mindsets, skills, and backgrounds can be challenging, but in the long run, these collaborations prove most productive and enriching. Find points of ease, the few things everybody agrees on already, and build out from there. Honor difference and expand. Let the situation become a mandala created by the interlacing elements that at first glance may not look like they go together. These apparently clashing pieces can round each other out and create a beautiful symbol of wholeness. Take this image into your psyche and use it as a pattern for interaction. These tense aspects take work, but don't avoid it. If you take a hatching baby bird out of its egg so it doesn't have to struggle, it won't build the strength needed to survive. A butterfly needs to struggle coming out of the cocoon in order to have circulation in its wings to fly. This situation builds your strength. Get ready to fly. Challenge. This is a workout of body, mind, or spirit, and workouts can be tiring. Gift. Take this opportunity to build strength and learn to reconcile the conflicts within. When you can resolve internal conflicts, it is easier to resolve external ones. Okay, and then our crystal for this pile is the azurite. So again, this is for the materialistic vein, the always craving, and perhaps for Leos. When material pleasures aren't giving you the buzz they used to, use it when material pleasures aren't giving you the buzz they used to. When it's time to take a break from snapping selfies and chasing shiny things, you can shake off the shallowness, start with your breath, then dive into the deep end with azurite and explore your hidden depths. So that is our pile 2. So it might be that you're already so deeply into a collaboration or into a project that the energies of working together with others are coming up for you. Or it might be that you are attempting to reconcile, that you're coming up with tensions that are inherent within the project itself. And so, this, I would say, if you're resonating with this, then, we'll see what the tarot cards have to say about it, but tension is not necessarily a bad thing. Tension is what can move a project ahead into its completion phase, or further down. Tension is where progress occurs. If there's no tension, then it's, there's no incentive really to progress. That one just fell down. So we're getting some tarot cards to assist with whatever decision pile 2 needs to make. And is pile 2 making the right decision? Are they being guided in the right way? Or is there any sort of pivot that needs to be taken? What does pile 2 need to know about this decision that they're undertaking? Which is already calling up some aspects of tension. We've got the King of the Magician and the King of Cups. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, we've got some serious court cards, court energy here. You're pulling out the royals and the major arcana. Okay, what else? One last card for what does pile 2 need to know about this situation of tension. Okay, that's very interesting. So sure enough, we've got some energies of collaboration over here. Okay, so the Magician, the lesson of the Magician is that he's got everything. He is the master of the elements, and he or she. And so he's got everything that he needs at his disposal in order to sort of bend the universe to his will. And he's got, he's mastered Pentacles, Cups, Swords, and Wands. And, here he is with his own magical wand. He's got the lemniscate above his head, suggesting that he's tapped into infinity. So he can bend time to achieve his goals. And so this is very much a card of, you've got everything you need to move forward productively. You're able to alter a situation to suit your purposes. And so then, perhaps there are some considerations to take into account as you do that. But it looks like you can achieve whichever outcome. You're in this position of sort of almost conflict energies, but you are able to determine the outcome of, where that tension goes. You can resolve that tension in any direction you wish. And so there's a suggestion of power here, especially with the court cards coming up. And the King of Cups is the pinnacle of the watery realm of intuition, being guided by the flow of things. The King of Cups is generous, very balanced in terms of being in touch with what his own needs and deeper motivations are. He's able to, he's got a throne that is surrounded by water here. He's got fish and ships in the background. He is looking ahead to the future. The King of Cups can refer to a fair man, a man of business, and when I say man, please take that as human. You know, the Rider-Waite has definitely got the gender binary divisions of its time baked into it. But, you know, we can extrapolate from there, as we've done in the counterculture for all of time. Okay, so a fair man, a man of business, law, or divinity, responsible, disposed to oblige the querent. So, you know, he's showing up here to provide you with some assistance. So it already looks like you're in a pretty great position, but then there's some further assistance offered by the King of Cups showing up in your cards today. And he can refer to equity, art, science, law, creative intelligence. And so it's likely that even as you make these decisions, you might be aware of your power, stressing about which way to wield it, but it looks like you'll be well supported in whatever decision you feel into. And it looks like, you know, the considerations to keep in mind are equity, fairness, and tapping into your creative intelligence. Queen of Pentacles refers to, according to the booklet here, greatness of soul. She has the serious cast of intelligence. She contemplates her symbol and may see worlds therein. She refers to opulence, magnificence, generosity, security, and liberty. So it seems like whatever you're involved in, it is high level. That's the sense that I'm getting here. The Queen of Pentacles is about as well resourced as one can get. She is the presider over, you know, the earth energies, the fecundity and abundance of the earth, which can be harnessed, resourced, extracted as resources to support your project. And then over here we've got the Three of Pentacles, which is these three folks are working out. It looks like they're working out some kind of blueprint for building, and they're working harmoniously together. You know, one of them is sort of explaining plans while the others are holding the plans and asking questions perhaps, and they're all working together to accomplish something. And so there's a lot of energy here of being well-resourced, supported, and collaborating effectively with others. So I would say that wherever your intuition has been guiding you so far, you're on the right track. Let's get some clarifier cards. See if there are any nuances to be aware of. It's just looking like full steam ahead. So if that resonates with, you know, maybe you're feeling that you're in a place of tension now, but it looks to me like as soon as you start making decisions, everything's going to fall into place really beautifully, including in terms of collaborations with others. If you're working on a solo project, those others might be, you know, different aspects of self or different parts of your project that, that are being invited to work harmoniously together for the purpose of the greater project. The Queen of Swords. I'm laughing because she comes up in every reading. At least one of the piles always has the Queen of Swords. Okay, and clarifying the Three of Pentacles. One last card. What does pile 2 need to know about their project? Clarifying the Three of Pentacles. This one's just not coming. Oh, there it is. Okay, got some naked bodies on the table now. I made a new censorship patch last night, so I'll get to use it on this one. Okay, I thought it might be more amusing than just the barred lines, as well as a little more cheeky. So hopefully it's covering what it needs to cover. Okay, so back to the magician. So the magician is, able to sort of bend the elements to his will. He's got a purpose and he is actively pursuing it, and he's doing it by manifesting. It's the card of manifestation. And so it looks like that manifestation is going to lead to prosperity and plenty, community celebration, legacy, and just, attaining a place of success and beauty with whatever it is that you're trying to make a decision about. And then we've got the King of Cups, who is, this man of fairness, equity, justice, who's very balanced in terms of ensuring that the often overlooked realm of intuitive flow is incorporated, taken into account. But there is a little bit of a sad note over here with the Five of Cups. So 3 of the cups have spilled, 2 still are standing, and so this figure is, there's been some kind of setback here, and this figure is grieving for the 3 cups that have spilled while looking to the past, which is the spilled cups, but overlooking the future to the right over here. He's still got 2 cups standing, and instead of focusing on those, he's despairing over the 3 that have spilled. And so there might be a note of caution here, just to ensure that when there are setbacks, that you continue to look to the future and focus on what remains as opposed to what has been lost. And in doing so, it seems like you will be invoking the material prosperity symbolized by the Queen of Pentacles, and then the Queen of Swords shows up and lends her discernment to the situation. It may be that you're very well resourced in undertaking your project, but perhaps to avoid setbacks in the future, you'll want to be exercising your discernment about exactly what projects, how much to take on, and just involving your mind in the decisions. So there's a suggestion to be in the flow here, but if that ends up knocking over some of your cups, then go back to your resources, but then also make sure that you're acting from a place of discerning what needs to happen next, and weighing the options, and then committing to a path. And then again, there's some collaboration with others that might be taking place. It's perhaps the case that you make those decisions and then you find yourself working again with others and sort of getting back to that intuitive flow. And once that's undertaken, it looks like you're going to be back in a place of making a choice, and that choice will be one of with far-reaching, long-lasting effects on your life. And so, as the Legacy of Light card said in the beginning, don't underestimate the journey that you're on. It's going to have a profound effect on your life, possibly on the rest of your life, possibly lifetimes to come, but no pressure. But it looks like you're very well resourced and well supported to be making that decision, with some setbacks that are more perceived than actually affecting anything to do with your material prosperity or the position that you're in. It looks like you continue to be in a good position moving forward, and that you've got collaborators that you can work with. And then as you make those decisions going forward, just be aware that they're important ones, and that it's sort of those moments in life when if you take path A, your life is going to be one way, and if you take path B, it's going to be a totally different way, and you just have to pick which of those lives. Sort of as we were picking up on in the last reading, you can imagine yourself where you want to be, and then sort of imagine back to what the path was from here, where you are now, to there. And maybe that will help guide your decision. Okay, pile 2, thank you. That was your reading. I hope you found it helpful. Please do like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have 30 seconds to watch one of the other videos on the channel, that would really help in terms of building the channel and supporting the YouTube algorithms, and as well leaving a like or a comment or subscribing as well. And thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. We've got Chiron with Heal. I'll go back to the description, give you a little bit more insight on that one. So again, Chiron is the wounded healer archetype, named after a centaur who trained heroes, was accidentally wounded, learned so much about medicine that he started a healing temple. So he couldn't heal himself, but he was able to give knowledge, wisdom, and healing to many, many others. So for the action, find purpose in your problems. Hard-earned wisdom. I should have said we are talking about a decision that you are feeling called to make, and are you making that decision in the right way at this time? And so our starting point is Chiron, the wounded healer. So find purpose in your problems. Hard-earned wisdom is now relevant and needed. You don't have to assign causality. You may never know why you went through a difficult time, but you can put what you learned from it to good use. Even if you never quite heal in this place of karmic tenderness, you have the wisdom to pass on once you metabolize the information. The situation may feel familiar, but if you can't remember a story to go with it, it may be left over from a past life, a chapter review of what your soul already knows. If an old pain is triggered, have compassion for yourself. You are more than your troubles. You know the route through, and now it's a time to practice what you know. Once you have a solution, add it to your toolkit. If the situation stretches and tests you, take it as training for the hero within. What you are learning now can be your secret sauce in the future. Challenge. The situation can set off touchy memories or poke you where it still hurts. Shrapnel can hurt as much coming out as it does going in. Take this opportunity to heal so those old places can transform. Gift. Allow the pain and troubles of the past to become the wisdom and compassion of the present moment. So Chiron is sort of the alchemist of the healing world. He alchemizes pain into wisdom. Ruby. Anyone who needs it. Anyone with something worth fighting for. Any Aries. When to use it. When you want to show the world that you're both beautiful and ferocious. When your sex life needs a heaping tablespoon of spice. When the doldrums have you down, reach for Ruby and some really red lipstick and come out swinging. Feed your fires. And so it may be that you're feeling your wounds right now, and that the action that's required is to come out swinging and sort of spice things up a bit. And so let's get some tarot cards to see what pile 3 needs to know about. That's one of my pets. Not even sure if it's the cats or the dog pressing the treats button. What does pile 3 need to know about the decision that they're making right now? Are they making the right choice? And if so, what will guide them in making that choice in the right way? If so, or if not, what will guide them in making that choice in the right way? So we've got some Wands energy happening here. We'll get one more card for pile 3 about whether they're making their decision in the right way. Looks like an open-ended question for now. And then we'll get some clarifier cards afterwards. So we've got the 6 of Wands. And so this is the man of the laurel wreath. He's got a laurel crown and he's got a laurel wreath on his staff, and he's riding home, having been successful with whatever venture he set out on. He is, he's got a community of support around him. He's looking ahead to the future. His horse is sort of looking back to make sure that it's doing what he wants. So everything's sort of coming up roses, one would say. So it looks like you're starting from a place of, perhaps a past success. If there has been some kind of battle that has brought up old wounds, then, you know, it very much looks like action is the path to take. So rather than sitting and meditating, it does seem like riding forth is what is called for, and that you'll be well supported in doing it and achieve some manner of success. Or, you know, perhaps that's your starting point and you're looking at the next venture. Ace of Pentacles is beginning energy in the earthen realm. So it's sort of the beginning of a path of prosperity. And, you know, it's when those initial ideas are just seeds. And so, you know, the hand comes out from the cloud and gives you the idea for how to make money. This could be, or it could be how to put down roots or do anything to do with the earth. Any sort of pentacles projects that you might be incubating. It's sort of suggesting that you're starting from a place of already being quite successful, and then maybe you have this new idea that you're contemplating that could take off for you. And then we've got the Knight of Wands suggesting that you charge ahead with it. So do go forward, you know, blaze ahead, protect the idea, and ensure that you are nurturing its passion. The Knight of Wands is riding towards the past, so there might be a little bit of, you know, a bit of Chariot energy perhaps. There might be some confusion about which direction he should be heading off in. Perhaps he's so passionate that he's making decisions impulsively. That is possible. So just make sure that you're heading in the direction of, you know, the future project, and not just resting on your laurels, as they say. So put that passion to good use and steer it in the direction of the future. So the Chariot is the question of which way to go, which Sphinx to be guided by. And, you know, there's no clear answer, of course, but there is a suggestion that you're being pulled in two different directions at once, and also that you're doing just fine with navigating that pull and harnessing it for your own purposes. And in this card, it's interesting in this card because it really doesn't look like they're going anywhere at all. It looks like those sphinxes are just having a lie down, but he still looks very much in command of his future endeavors. And he's got a fine and fancy chariot with, you know, it's got a top. His chariot has a top. And he's got some elements of, you know, the cosmos here. He's got a star, and his shoulder plates look like moons with faces, actually. There's faces on his shoulders. And suggesting, again, that he's being guided by two different forces or directions. And so there might be some message here about either picking one or the other, or maybe figuring out a way to amalgamate both of them. So we're looking for some clarifier cards. We've got Justice, and we've got the Hierophant. Got some Hermit energies coming through. And one last clarifier card for pile 3. Your decision might not be made today. So if we've got, you know, the successful horseman coming home to, you know, a clamor of community support, success, prosperity, then we've got a need to balance out perhaps the, you know, rather than resting on one's laurels or taking what has been done to date for granted, there might be a need to be assessing what can balance out that venture. What is it that needs to happen next? So, you know, perhaps you've been wildly successful in gaining some fame, but you are needing to make some money still. And so Justice would be a call to assess. You've got the sword of discernment here, and then the scales. So, you know, figure out how to make those scales balance so that you're not just achieving success, but you're actually able to make a living at it, for example. Or there might be some other tension coming out to do with core wounds. It might have to do with the way that you're transforming your own healing journey into something that others can learn from or gain wisdom from. And so assuming that you're able to balance out those energies, figure out what needs to be balanced and balance it, then that might be when you open the door to a new idea, a new seed that can perhaps eventually bring you prosperity. And along the way, you'll have some teachers guiding you. They've got the Hierophant. It's possible that there might be some kind of ritual or ceremony that confirms, your new path. The Hierophant can be sort of the Sagittarius energy of the tarot deck. So he is a priest. He can sanctify your journey. There might be a contract to sign. It's possible that you're receiving some mentorship along the way with respect to the new venture. And it looks like what you need is going to show up for you. And so, do be wary of riding off in the wrong direction, half-cocked. But the beautiful energy of the Knight of Wands is quite lovely. So he's full of passion and verve, and he's ready to make things happen. But, if there is perhaps a note of caution there about focusing too much on the past and not the future, then it's possible that might bring you to a place where you need to be slowing down, contemplating which direction to go. It's looking like, there's some initial success and then there's a new idea, and there's definitely some support happening for that idea and some passion. You're activating your ruby energies. These two are very aligned. But it's also possible that you might need to take a pause, do a little meditation, just sort of spend a minute by yourself so that you can, close out all of the other information that's coming at you. Turn off social media, maybe just go for a walk or go have a sit on the beach by yourself, or find somewhere where you can listen to your own still voice within and be guided by that. Light up the darkness, see maybe what your wounds are, where you are, what that place is that you're acting from, and bring that into consciousness. And so it might be that once you're able to integrate that wound energy a little bit better. My dog is here wanting his breakfast. At that point, that might give you a little bit more insight into which path to take when you're faced with these sort of competing directions that the Chariot might be influenced by. The Chariot is still a marker of success, so whichever of those paths is taken, it is likely to be successful. But then we've got this sort of ambiguity here with the Seven of Cups, which is the card of sort of being spread in many directions at once, or having many different dreams. And there is sort of an implication that, you need to focus down and select one of those paths and be guided by that rather than getting distracted along the way. So beware of distractions, I would say. So go into your Hermit energies and, figure out what of these competing paths is a distraction and which one is the path that you want to focus on at this time. I do think we need to pull just one more card because that leaves it in quite an ambiguous place. So what, in building their legacy of light, what is it in particular that pile 3 should be focusing on? What's the take home? What is the take home here? We've got the 9 of Pentacles, so this suggests an independent businesswoman. So she doesn't need assistance from others. She knows exactly the path that she is meant to be on. She's extremely well resourced. She's got herself there, and she's having a blessed calm moment in her garden with a little bird, and she has built up her own prosperity and has been quite successful. So we've got the beginning of that journey here, and then the culmination. So it looks like the choice that you make is going to bring you some material prosperity, and that you'll get there by going into your own energies. So maybe focus in a little, get the guidance from your teachers, harness your passions, and be guided by them, but also make sure that you're focusing not on what the world is trying to distract you with, but on your own sense of what the right path to take is. Good morning. Do you need your breakfast? Okay, just hang on for a minute. You don't want to go outside? Need to go outside? Go for a pee? Okay, just hang on 1 sec. Yeah, and that will take you to your place of prosperity, it looks like. So I hope that helps. And as usual, please like the video. Please subscribe if you're inclined. And if you have 30 seconds to perhaps watch another video from the channel, even if you just let it play in the background for a few minutes, even just a minute, that will count as a view per the YouTube algorithms, and that will help me to grow the channel. So thank you so much. I'd love to be able to continue doing this, and every little bit of enthusiasm, the sense that there are others out there who are, perhaps watching, engaging with the content, is encouraging for me to continue. And so good luck with your legacy of light, and I can't wait to see how the world benefits from it. Bye, Pile 3. Thank you.